Merry Christmas, everyone. It's time for another Christmas horror review. We're going to talk about this anthology from 5 years ago, 2015, A Christmas Horror Story. And so, this is a highly rated movie. It's got over 80% Rotten Tomatoes. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I went in with some high expectations. And did I like it? Let's find out. So, this movie, I think I already says, anthology. We got four different stories being told at the same time. They all take place in the same city, kind of like Trick or Treat, and but they're not really all that much connected to each other. So we got four separate stories going on simultaneously, and it just kind of it's like interwoven. We keep cutting from this story to this story to this story. We got a story about these high school kids. They go to this like academy to investigate and make a documentary. And we got a story about this, family going to get a Christmas tree. And then there's a creature, and then there's a story involving Santa Claus at the North Pole being attacked by elves. And then there's another story about a family going to visit their old rich aunt, and they bump into Krampus, and then meanwhile, you got a DJ kind of like as the wraparound, or kind of sprinkled throughout, just saying witty things, and and it's played. The DJ is played by William Shatner, so that will take me into my first positive, I guess. I really liked seeing William Shatner playing the DJ. I thought he was pretty funny, and just, his interactions with his producer and the guy outside the window writing fuck Christmas and shit. Like, I really liked, him and the set, and the cinematography is pretty good in this movie. It looks good. Lots of blues, and it just looks cold. It feels like Christmas time, like it should. And there were some good performances here. I think the best performance comes from the woman in the changeling segment. I thought she gave a really good performance, and the acting overall is pretty good. It's solid. You got some familiar faces. Amy Forsyth, I recognized her, and obviously William Shatner. And I like my favorite segment in the movie is the zombie elves, if they're even zombies. Like they're dying, but then they're coming back, or at least one of them does. I think he calls them zombies, Santa, or I think they're just infected with some shit, whatever they are. But they're acting like zombies. They want to like bite and eat Santa, and he has to keep like hacking them away and slicing them into bits. This is where all the gore from the movie comes from, is in this segment, and it's just the most fun, and it's what I wanted out of the other segments that were mainly just serious. And this movie had a twist in one of the segments that really got me. I just did not see that coming, and it just really made that segment even better for me. And the one segment with the family getting the Christmas tree, that one I think had the most effective scares. Like, they were scares that I like, where it's like something in the background and it's kind of like blurry. You're not like focusing on it. You just see like glowing eyes or something. Like, those are the kinds of subtle scares that I like. It's not the in your face shit. It's like, what's that back there? Like, I like that stuff. So that one had like the best like creepy shots and moments, was the Christmas tree family segment. I'm not sure what they're all called, but so yeah. Outside of that, my dislikes for the movie is this movie wasn't what I was expecting. The movie opens up, I think it starts with like the DJ William Shatner, and it gave this kind of humorous tone to the movie. I thought it was going to be more silly, but it's mainly serious. Like, all these segments except for the Santa and the Elf segment. That one, like, they're all serious, but the Santa Elf one just felt goofy, and that's what I wanted out of all of them. But they were all being very serious, and I think this movie would have worked better for me personally if it was like more like tongue in cheek, goofy, just more gory in all the other segments. Because the other two segments, the one with the family going to visit their rich aunt, and the one with the kids going to investigate this, supposedly like haunted school, they were fine, but that's it, just fine. Like, it's fine. Like, the acting, it looks good, but the stories of those two segments were just meh. Like, I didn't like them that much. Like, they were trying to be scary and interesting, but they just weren't for me. Like, the high school one, like, that should have been like found footage. That would have been cool if one of the segments was found footage, because they kind of set it up that way. They're watching footage that they found from the police department, and then they're like making like a documentary, and there's like POV shots throughout. They keep cutting to some POV shots. I was like, this would be a lot more interesting and scary maybe if they kept that style throughout, make it like a found footage movie, and I would have liked that one more. And then the one with the family going to visit the aunt and encountering Krampus. Krampus, the makeup on him, it looks good, uh, but it just didn't do anything for me because I didn't like the family. I didn't like them. So that's really all I gotta say. So final thoughts. I think this is a decent anthology filled with lots of holiday, Christmas, atmosphere and vibes, and good Christmas music. It looks good, cinematography, performances. It's fine, but the stories could have been a little bit better. There was one really good segment, a good twist, a couple of creepy shots here and there, but overall, it wasn't as great as I was expecting. So when it comes to a Christmas horror story, maybe just consider streaming it, borrowing it from a friend, or renting it at Redbox. All right, let's get through the spoiler discussion. There's not a whole lot to spoil here. So it has one of those openings where it's like something big's about to happen, and then it like flashes back 12 hours earlier. So now you're like wondering throughout the movie, like, ooh, like what's gonna build up to that? Why is Santa all bloody? And so this little kid Duncan, he's a little piece of shit. He couldn't just be a normal kid. They have to make him a little jackass so that when he gets killed later on, you're like, good, whatever. And then to make it even worse, they say that he's a cat killer. So this kid was growing up to be a fucking like Michael Myers psychopath. Rob Zombie's Michael Myers, like a cat killer. Like, oh, okay, well, I'm not too sorry that he's dead. He deserves it because he just purposely breaks this Krampus little toy, and they like head fake you with this. They make you think like because he broke this like little toy that's what's releasing Krampus. But no, it has nothing to do with that at all. It's just a fucking toy that the grandma was really attached to. But because he broke this toy, it pissed off Three Finger from Wrong Turn so much that he turned into Krampus. And apparently, anybody who gets pissed off enough, they can just turn into Krampus as long as it's Christmas Eve, right? So that was the explanation. I didn't like that. Like, really? So anybody can be Krampus as long as they're pissed off. Well, then there should have been hundreds of Krampus. Like, how many at a time can there be? How pissed off do you need to be Krampus? I mean, they should have, like, at the end of the segment, like, show, like, a wide shot of the city, all kinds of pissed off people just turning into Krampus. There should have been a lot more Krampuses running around if that's all it takes to become one. So then, like, these elves are, like, attacking out of nowhere. There's no explanation about what caused them to snap. But I love how the one elf, like, chops his, like, hand off after calling Mrs. Claus a reindeer fucking snow whore. Something like that. And so, yeah, they trespass to get this Christmas tree. So that's, like, the morality tale here. Like, don't trespass. And how about you get your Christmas tree way earlier? Why are you getting a Christmas tree on Christmas Eve? It's pretty late to be doing that shit. I mean, I've always grown up, tradition in my family is like, we get the Christmas tree up December 1st. It's Christmas Eve, and they're just now wrapping gifts, and they're just now, like, putting the tree up and decorating it. It's like, Jesus Christ, this should have been done 4 weeks ago. But whatever. People have different traditions. It's just weird to me. We get a Shining reference from one of the elves he's breaking down the door, and he's like, here's Shiny. That's his name. And so then, when they get the kid, it's pretty obvious it's not their kid, Will, because he's just being, like, really extra quiet and shit. You're like, all right, this is not their kid. And so, but it was really disturbing how this, their kid, it's not really, the creature was feeling up his mom, like grabbing her tit while she was asleep, and he's, like, watching her shower. Like, that was kind of creepy. So yeah, Duncan's a cat killer. He dies off camera. Like, when Krampus was killing this family, it should have been more gory on screen. They just drag the people away, and then that's it. Like, you got all this gore in the Santa section, but then, like, the other ones are more about the scares, and they're more subtle. It's like, nah, fuck that. Like, I want to see Duncan. I want to see his head on a plate. Like, he needs to die. He's a cat killer. So, possessed Molly is sexy as hell. One of the girls at the academy, she gets possessed. and starts trying to seduce the two guys that she's with. And I like that the one guy was, able to be like, no, I have a girlfriend. So that made me like his character, but then he gets the crucifix in his eyeball. But then she starts fucking the other guy. And then I guess because she, got pregnant in that moment, she's pregnant by the end of it, right? She snapped out of it after he came. And she's like, what did you do to me? He's like, what did I do? What did I do to you? Like, oh man, that must have been just so confusing. Like, could you imagine, like, you fuck a girl, and right after you're finished, she's just like, what did you do to me? It's like, you came on to me. Like, I would be so confused in that moment. Like, what the fuck? But she was, oh my gosh, Molly, she was the hottest chick in this movie. So Santa is just slaying all these elves in gory fashion. For some reason, he has a very dangerous staff that he walks around with, some like big stick with a sharp ass edge to it. I don't know what it is, but it's dangerous. Whatever. I don't know why he has it, but he's slicing them in pieces and shit. But then come to find out, he's not Santa Claus. He's just some fucking mall Santa who's losing his mind, hates Christmas, and he's been killing all kinds of families at the mall. That was a great twist. I didn't see that coming. But I did recognize him from the DJ booth, because in the beginning of the movie, you see the guy who plays Santa without his beard, and he's the one that puts the sign up that says, fuck Christmas. And when I saw him in that moment, I was like, that guy looks like the dude playing Santa. But then I just stopped thinking about it. I didn't think that there was going to be this twist. I was just like, that guy looks familiar. He's playing Santa. But then at the end, I was like, oh man, I should have known, I guess. Man, so that got me. And so yeah, we find out Three Finger is Krampus, and then, the one girl, she's mad at her aunt, realizes that her aunt basically, kicked them out to feed them to the beast, and then she gets pissed off and turns into Krampus and kills her off camera. So like, you knew that was coming. It's like, all right. So yeah, I think that's really all about it. That one guy, poor Ben, who has sex with Molly, he gets killed in like a Jesus position. He's on the wall like this, and his neck gets snapped. Kind of a brutal kill. Felt so bad for Ben. There could have been more to that fight between Krampus and Santa, because that was like the promotion, like artwork. That's the poster. It's like we're gonna see Krampus versus Santa. It's building up to that. And I was waiting for it the whole movie. It's like, it's on the poster, right? So it's got to be in the movie. And then it gets to that point, and it's maybe like 15, 20 seconds long, their fight, before he snaps out of it. So, yeah, that could have been longer. They could have stretched that battle out. But that's the end of it. So I'm done talking. All right. So what are your thoughts on this anthology movie? Where does it stack in your anthology ranking, your Christmas horror movie ranking? Is it your favorite? Let me know all your thoughts of it in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you've seen here, you can hit this like button and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And remember, it's an opinion. You don't need to get upset about it.